Up next, we have a keynote being delivered by Mr. Mohammed Rudman. He was introduced a while earlier. He's the CEO of IXPN. He's the president of the Nigeria Internet Registration Association. It seems NIRA is a very strong partner of ngNOG. In fact, the president of NIRA gave the keynote last year. Now the president of NIRA is giving the keynote. Thank you very much, Mohammed.
Just putting me on the spot. He just told me this morning that I'm giving the keynote, so I don't have any note here with me. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. First, I think, give me the opportunity to quickly appreciate some of the people that are here, especially my immediate past president, Reverend Sunday Folain, who is also a board member of the Internet Exchange. Most welcome, sir. And I also want to quickly appreciate three sponsors here: Facebook, Google, and Netflix. Why am I appreciating them? The cost of internet is dropping because of what they are doing by bringing content locally into the country. So Nina, you are most welcome all the way from US to attend this event. We really appreciate you. Andrew Basket, thank you so much. Ben, my brother, Sylvie, I don't know where Florence is, but thank you so much for coming. Today is an interesting day, honestly. You know that today is the birthday of the internet? 50 years. Today is the birthday of the internet, 29th of October by 10:30 p.m. US time. You know, two networks, Stanford Research Institute and University of California, came together to start interconnecting to bring the first network in the world. So I think it's a historic day. It's a historic moment. And internet since then has made significant impact on the lives of people. In fact, in the NIRA's newsletter, we said the greatest invention ever made by man. You know, it has transformed literally everything. And therefore, all networks started coming together one after the other to have that. But in reality, how do we connect the internet for everyone? One of the key challenges is that in Africa, I don't know, but let me give the global statistics. Out of the 7.7 billion people, right now we have about 4.4 billion people interconnected. And in Africa, we have a population of 1.3 billion people. Out of that 1.3 billion people, which is equivalent to around almost 17% of the global population, we have only 500 million people that are interconnected. And in Nigeria, we have roughly about 200 million according to estimates, and out of the 200 million, according to the latest statistics by NCC, 112 million people are are connected to the internet in Nigeria. And out of that 112 million, only 33% are on broadband. And almost 83% or 84% of all Nigerian users of the internet are on mobile devices, the hand devices. And only 16% to 17% are the desktops and the computers that we are using. So, in reality, we have 5 submarine cables landing in Nigeria, 5. And we have huge excess capacity at the shores of Lagos. But unfortunately, the infrastructure that we have, the 87% are mostly in the urban areas, mostly in the urban cities. The rest of the areas, if you move in the land, the internet access is not there much. And it's really, really expensive. The affordable, what is it called? A4I, affordable internet, mentioned the statistics that is about 1.7% of the monthly annual salary of a person to get just 1 gig capacity. So really, what is the problem? What is the issue in Nigeria? And one is electricity, because most of these operators spend huge investment to power their cell sites. As I mentioned earlier, it's through cell sites. Most of the networks are accessed through cell sites. So 40% of their operational cost is on co-location services. 40% of operational cost of most of these telcos and big service provider is on co-location, on electricity. If you look at the biggest service providers when it comes to co-location facility like IHS, they spend roughly around $20-something million monthly on diesel alone. So that's one of the key challenges. Therefore, the cost of internet is not dropping because the operational cost for the telcos is really on the high side. The second one is the right of way. Federal government to some extent have achieved unified right of way for all federal roads, but unfortunately in state governments, the prices vary. Some of them are ridiculously high because as you all know, the internally generated revenues of the state government is very low. They are really, really trying to find a way to improve it. Unfortunately, they believe that the big telcos are the fat cows and they should be able to milk them. So they charge them for right of way that is highly, highly expensive. Then you have the multiple taxation, both from federal government and state government. Some are saying there are different kind of taxes, as high as 18 different kind of taxes in Nigeria. So you go to a state, you want to build a mast to provide internet services, you need to acquire land. Because if you're a GSM operator, mostly in that location, they will hike the price. The price is expensive. After you got the land, the documentation process, everybody knows in Nigeria, is extremely difficult. After getting the documentation, you build the mast. You put 2 generators that are permanently powering the site. You provide security for that site because if you put diesel there, people will connive, pilfering. They will steal the diesel. Then all of a sudden, the people around the community will come. You build infrastructure here. We need something, all that. If you have fiber, people will dig it and cut it. I can assure you, like in Port Harcourt, there's a company that I know personally that they realized that every single month they have like 2 fiber cuts. And what they did was they called the contractors and said, look, let's negotiate upfront for 1 year. We intend to pay you 1 year bulk amount for maintenance of this fiber. And since they agreed, they paid the money upfront. There was no fiber cut. 6 months, no fiber cut. What's happening? The same guys are going around to influence other people to cut the fiber, and therefore these are costs that really add up. Inconsistent policies by government, and then lack of collaboration, even between government agencies to ensure that they simplify the process. So these are all the things that add up in Nigeria to make internet really, really expensive. So what is the solution to the problem? I think, one, government has started providing interventions here and there. Most of these interventions are actually in silos. We need to find a way to harmonize all the interventions. There is a national broadband plan that we have in Nigeria that came up in around 2013, and it was supposed to be for 5 years to 2018. Unfortunately, as normal things that we do in Nigeria, we have policies that we really never pursue. So I hope that the new national broadband plan will identify most of these issues, consistent issues, because in almost all conferences, seminars that we go are the same issues. So I hope that we'll address that. And NCC have provided infraco license right now, because as I mentioned earlier, we have 5 submarine cables in Nigeria, but the cost of transporting that capacity across Nigeria is really expensive. I just shared with Facebook here a quote I received for a capacity between one city and another. Within this Nigeria, I can assure you is double the cost of internet access. If I'm to ask for internet access in that particular site, it's double the cost. And this is just for a pipe within Nigeria. So government is providing an intervention through NCC for the infra cost to ensure that there is open access for everyone, and the internet costs can drop. They also provided the interconnection between the various exchange points that we have in Nigeria. They also, I think Galaxy Backbone are getting support from China and intervention to provide fiber, infrastructure across Nigeria. But honestly, the most important thing to solve this problem, because right now we have the served, underserved, and unserved. Nigeria's population is really, really increasing. As you know, we are going at the rate of 2.6 to 2.8% annually. Every 30 years, Nigeria's population doubles. 30 to 35 years, we double in population. And by the year 2050, it was predicted we'll be the third most populous country in the world. So how do we address this challenge? The only solution to the problem, this is an information age, is through education. The building of brick and mortar classrooms is going to be really expensive. The quality of teachers is not there. So to address these problems that we have, all these issues that you see today happening, the insecurity is because of lack of education, because people have no opportunities. The only way to break that barrier, to unlock opportunities for our young population, to give voice to the voiceless young people, is to provide them internet access. And for us to provide internet access, my dear sisters and brothers, the only solution is collaboration. Collaboration between government to government agencies, collaboration between government to business, collaboration between business to business. When the GSM operators came on board, everybody, you see it in the road. You will see one small area, very small area, you have 3 masts or 4 masts. You will see them. Out of the 3 masts, they have among them 6 generators. And meanwhile, 1 mast can solve the problem because we don't collaborate. You will see the same road. Somebody mentioned it here for fiber infrastructure. The same road. 5, 6 different companies are laying fiber. So I think in Africa, we need to wise up. We need to start trusting each other. We need to start collaborating so that we can help ourselves and for the growth of our country. Thank you so much for that. Thank you.